Okay, so now we have another practice test related to the Google Professional Data Engineerism. They have 53 questions. So let's try to attempt all these questions. Question number 1: your client is facing an issue with the cloud data flow job. Okay, so there is a data flow job and they are facing an issue. This job read message from PubSub, applies transformation to message and send result to the another PubSub. The issue is that the number of outgoing messages is not equal to the number of incoming messages. If the number of outgoing messages is not equal to the number of incoming messages, it means like some messages are getting discarded or dropped. Client is inserting 15 million messages in the data flow, but in the data flow monitoring alert, client can see only 20,000 messages are about 20,000 messages are lost. So 20,000 messages are getting lost. Okay, there is 15 million message and so approximately only these elements are added. So what could be the possible problem? So the possible problem is some messages are getting late and getting discarded. So use Data Pro cluster. So that is totally wrong because they are using the data flow. So they told that use Data Pro cluster, and the data flow, in the data flow they can't handle millions of messages, but it is wrong. Data flow is even more scalable. It can handle any number of messages. So option A is wrong. Use beam windowing technique without dropping late data. So that looks okay because the problem could be like number of messages are coming more and outgoings are less. So there could be like some messages are getting dropped which are coming late. So this could be the reason. Use Flink framework to process the data. So nothing related with the processing of the data and nothing related with the Flink framework. So framework we don't need to change, that is Data Pro, Flink. Use beam windowing technique with watermarking concept. So watermarking concept we will generally use to discard the late messages, but here we don't want to discard. Even the messages are getting discarded, so we have to tell the problem. So the solution is the messages are getting discarded, so better use the beam window technique without dropping late data. So there is no need to drop the late data. So let's see next question. Your client is having a data flow job, okay, which reads data from PubSub. Okay, client wants to upgrade code which is not compatible with the existing data flow code. So there is a data flow pipeline already, but client want to update some code in one job or maybe in multiple jobs. Your client would like to process all the messages while performing upgrade to the client data flow pipeline. So what approach we will suggest? So the problem is the pipeline is already in progress and we want to update the code in and the problem is that client want to process all the messages, so there should not be the message no message should be discarded or stopped or lost. So how we will do that? So there are two options. One is when we stop the pipeline to change any job. So when we try to stop the pipeline, it will ask two options, whether we want to cancel the pipeline or whether we want to drain the pipeline. So if we cancel the pipeline, whatever the message it is processing, that will get lost. But if we want to drain the pipeline, what it will do is it will it will not stop the pipeline on the same time, but what it will do is first it will process all the message which it already read or which are already in the processing state, and then but it will not read the further messages, but whatever the message it already read, it will first process and then stop the pipeline. So we will use the drain feature, and then so that whatever the message already in processing state, it will get processed. Then we will change the code and then we will re-trigger the pipeline. So that is okay. It is not possible in data flow, that is wrong. Use rolling upgrade feature, wrong. Using rolling restart, wrong. So the drain feature is okay. Question number 3. Your client is running a data flow pipeline, okay, with auto scaling set as on. Okay, the client is worried about cost, so they are worried about the cost. What setting can enable up to address? So scaling is on and they are worried about cost. So one option is either they can off their scaling, right? Another option is when the scaling is on, so like the backend machines, it can scale any number of instances, right? So we can fix that maximum number of instances to save the cost. So by specifying maximum number of workers, you can limit the definitely okay, yeah, correct. By specifying minimum number of workers, no, we have to specify maximum number of workers, so that okay, if it reach till this point, it should not like add more worker nodes. So minimum worker is totally wrong. By specifying max worker, but max worker is not the parameter, max number of worker is the correct parameter. So that's why option C wrong. Min worker is totally wrong, none of the above is wrong, so option A is correct. Which API is not required to be enabled when running a cloud data flow job? So like when we create a job in the cloud data flow, which API is not required? So when we create a cloud data flow pipeline, like at the back end we need the worker, so API is needed. So the logging might be required. The job might be access the cloud storage as well. Job might access the data store API as well. So all the APIs are required. So answer could be the none of the above. Your client wants to store 100 TB of data in the big table. Each record in the dataset has 100 columns. Okay. The client wants to insert each record in a transactional way, and there would be most get request on the table to retrieve data. How should you design the schema? Okay, schema should be told table, that is one record can be inserted as 100 rows. Okay, so that doesn't look good, because if one record will be like you can say we will put one record into 100 records, then even the size of the table will get increased, and when we issue the get request, it has to read, just to read one record, it has to read 100 rows. So that doesn't look good. Schema should be white table, so that looks okay, because we have the 100 columns and we are like querying so many get requests. So if we use the wide column means you can say the wide schema means like the number of columns are more, and all the columns are stored in a single row rather than the multiple rows. So that when we issue the get request, only one row can be like scanned. So that is perfectly okay. It can be designed in any way. No, that is wrong. Should schema should be designed with transactional property set to true. So nothing related with the transaction property, we need to change the schema. None of the wrong. So either it could be the tall or it could be the like wide. So here we will use the wide, because we are using the get request and the transactional data. Your client wants to store 100 TB time series data. Now the question is time series data. So how should you design the table? So if we have the time series data, generally in the time series data, like at a single time there could be a multiple events, right? So if we like, now we have the same option, like whether we will design the schema as a told table. Told table means like one record can be spanned over multiple rows. Wide table means like for a particular key, like only there could be one row, and other thing like it doesn't matter. That is totally wrong. None of the above wrong. Schema should be designed with time series property. That is wrong. Here answer is told table. Why the told table is answer? Because the problem is in the question it has been asked, like we have the time series data. So for a particular time there could be many events, right? Let's suppose we are like storing the data on the time series basis, like per minute basis, right? So in the per minute it could be the get request, post request, pull request, delete request, right? Or and maybe any number of events. So if we store all the events in a single row, that is a wide table data, so while fetching it, like we will face like issue. So not issue, but it will be more complex. So better we will like use the told table. So for the particular time, let's suppose at 10 a.m. we have the get request, so store in a one record, first row, At 10 a.m. we have the post request as well, so store in the second row. At 10 a.m. we have the delete request as well, so store in the third row. That is a tall table. So it's not the white table, it's a tall table. So that for the time series we will use the tall table. For the transaction we will use the white table. Your client is using Cloud PubSub, Dataflow and BigQuery for processing clickstream data. Okay. So PubSub, Dataflow and BigQuery, these are the flow. Which best practice should be followed to optimize the cost? So we need to optimize the cost. Okay. So use CSV data format for messages, use AVRO data format for message. So generally like if we compare the CSV data file and AVRO data file, AVRO format is more preferred because the size of the AVRO file is very less, because it is like it applies compression. So AVRO format is if we use the AVRO format, then the size will decrease and it will optimize the cost. Use clustering technique in Dataflow. So clustering technique is in the BigQuery, not in the Dataflow. This is totally wrong. Ingest data into the BigQuery in batch mode rather than the streaming mode. That is perfectly okay, because if we load the data in batch mode, batch mode is free in the BigQuery, but streaming mode is we need to pay. So batch mode is free, so and we need to optimize the cost, so batch mode is preferred. Delete data from cloud storage at regular intervals using object lifecycle management. That is perfectly okay. Like whatever the data we have already read from the cloud storage and process it and store into the Google BigQuery. So now we can delete the particular data from the cloud storage. So we can delete it so that we don't need to pay for storage. So that is okay. Partition BigQuery table, that is perfectly okay, because if we partition the table, then the query cost will be optimized. That is okay. So all these four options are okay. Your client is having 1 Kafka and 3 Hadoop and Spark cluster, okay, for ingestion, storage, processing and analysis of customer data. The client has started to face issue in scaling, okay, maintaining this cluster due to increased load. Okay, how should be the GCP data pipeline implemented to overcome this issue? Okay, so if they are using Kafka Hadoop cluster, better they will use the Dataflow. So for the rather than the Kafka message, they can use the PubSub message, and rather than the Spark data pro cluster, they can use the Dataflow, and for the processing and for the analysis, they can use the BigQuery. So option A looks okay. Cloud storage is not looks okay. Cloud PubSub to Cloud Dataflow, okay, then Cloud Dataflow to Cloud Data Storage, wrong, because Cloud Data Storage is not for the analysis. For the analysis we have the BigQuery, and for the BigQuery we have only 1-2 option, but for the ingestion of the data only we will use the PubSub, not the Cloud Storage. Option A looks okay. Which BI tool is best suited for the Google Cloud Storage and the BigQuery? So if we have the one BI tool, that is the Google Data Studio 360 in the GCP, and that is most recommended to use and also suitable for the cloud storage and the BigQuery. So Data Studio is is the correct answer. That is to generate some graphs to visualize the data. Question number 10. Your client organization is an IT startup, okay, who has 3 developers. They want to use the GCP platform, okay. The storage size of artifacts and egress traffic is not significant, only 2 GB. Which source code management tool should they use for hosting their private repository? Okay, whether they will store their code on GitHub, Bitbucket, Cloud Source Repository, Subversion, CVS. So we will use the Cloud Source Repository, because they want to use the GCP, and on the GCP to store the code, we will use the Cloud Source Repository. That is the source repository where we will store our source code. And there is also one more benefit, up to I think 5 GB, we don't need to pay any cost. And they have if you back the question, only they have 2 GB of data, so that is okay. Storytellers, okay, storytellers are generally those person who generate stories using some data. That is they will generate some graphs storytellers in a telecom company would like to create reports based on mobile tower sensor. Okay, below are the requirements. The data should be ingested in real time. If it is real time, it should be the PubSub. Okay, the report should not be showing stale data for more than couple of hours. Okay, what setup with the easiest and maintain? So for the ingestion we will use the cloud PubSub. So let's see where with the cloud PubSub. Store sensor data into a big table. Wrong. No, there is no option of the PubSub. Only one or two have the PubSub option. Okay, now let's read the other option. And stream sensor data based data in a big table. Connect BI tool with the big table, and connect data studio with the BigQuery. So BigQuery is generally recommended, and data studio is also recommended for this purpose rather than the BI tool. BI is I think the third party tool, but data studio is the GCP tool. Your client is working on a big data processing object. The client team is having a lot of big jobs on MapReduce framework running, but these jobs are having performance issue. Okay, the developers are more comfortable with Pig Latin rather than the other languages like Java, Scala, etc. Which technology would you recommend to the client to migrate their jobs? Okay, so they have Pig jobs, and the developers are these MapReduce jobs are having some performance issues, so they want to migrate the jobs, but developers are comfortable with the Pig Latin, but they are not comfortable with the Java, Scala. So Pig Latin is generally the scripting language. Okay, so what we will recommend? Okay, Spark jobs can be written using Python. That is perfectly okay, because Pig Latin is the a scripting language, and Spark jobs can be written as a script, so that is also okay. Hive queries can be proposed here. So Hive queries are generally used to access the data, so not the MapReduce jobs. MapReduce jobs can be proposed here. Why we will again propose the MapReduce jobs when the MapReduce jobs are already having some issues? It is not recommended to change optimal. That is totally wrong, none of the above. So only one option left, that is Spark job written with the Python, and there is also scripting language, and this Pig Latin is also the scripting language. Your client would like to perform predictive analysis related to the customer churn prediction. Okay, which GCP product should the client opt for? So they want to do analysis. For the analysis we have only one tool, that is the BigQuery out of this. So BigQuery looks okay. Your client is performing multi-class classification through TensorFlow. Okay, what should be the activation function in the output layer? So for the classification and for the multi-class classification we generally use the softmax activation function. That will give the probability. If we have 3 classes, it will give the probability of every class, and more the probability that could be the answer. So softmax is the correct answer. Soft mean no, ReLU, cross entropy, no, these are not the answer. Softmax is the answer. Your client has a messaging application serving millions of concurrent customers. The messaging data is more than 100 TB data. Which GCP product should the client opt for? Okay, so this is the messaging application, and the millions of concurrent user serving millions of customers. So generally for the messaging service, we will use the big table, and note this spanner is for the SQL data. BigQuery is for analysis purposes. Data prep is totally wrong, that is for the transformation of data, and data store is also wrong. So BigQuery, big table looks okay. Big table is for the messaging application, and big table has a good throughput and the very low latency, low latency or high latency. That is it will quickly respond to the customers. So that looks okay here. Question number 16. You are developing a model for your client, but data loss is not going down while training. So data loss is not going down means model is unable to train further. What steps should you take to overcome the issue? Okay, choose more than one option. Increase the complexity of the model. Yeah, definitely okay, we can increase the complexity of the model. Choose a more complex type of model. no, increase the number of epochs, that is totally wrong, because they already told that the data loss is not going down. So it means like they are already performed the epochs. Epoch means like running a loop multiple times. So that is totally wrong here. Getting more data and create new features, so that looks okay. Perform regularization, that is wrong, because regularization generally is we perform like when there is a when the model is overfitting, when the model is overfit. But here model is even itself not able to train, so that is underfit, because data loss is not going down, so model is unable to train, so that is underfit, model is already underfit, so regularization is wrong here. So these two looks okay. I think choose a more complex type of model is also okay. Your client is a big retailer like Walmart. The client has implemented a deep learning model to detect the age of the customer. So okay, so we are detecting the age of the customer, so it is some kind of like a numeric data. Okay, which metric should not be used? Should not be used. So for the age of the customer, like we generally use the regression, and in the regression like mean absolute error, mean sum error, mean square error, root mean square error, these are all also okay. Accuracy is not the correct metrics for the regression. So your client is a dating site like Tinder. The client has implemented a deep learning model to predict inappropriate pictures. Okay, which metric should not be used? Okay, so for inappropriate picture, that is the classification problem, whether the picture is appropriate or whether the picture is inappropriate, that is the classification problem. So for the classification problem, we use a confusion matrix, correct, and we also use the precision recall F1 score, that is also correct. We also use the accuracy, so all the options are correct, so none of the above, because we need to tell which metric should not be used. Data scientists in your team explore data every now and then in BigQuery using various operations like count. Every now and then means like very frequently. What advice would you give them to save cost? So use approx count if exact number don't matter, that is perfectly okay. Use count only if it is required, don't overuse it, that is totally wrong, because it is already mentioned they have to use every now and then why will told them don't use it, so that is wrong. Use sum instead of count, if we use sum instead of count, even the output will be totally wrong, because sum is a different aggregation function, count is a different aggregation function, that is totally wrong. Use approx sum, that is wrong, none of the above wrong, so only one option, that is the approx count. So approx count will like if like there are 10 records, so might be it will like give us the okay we have the 8 records, so there is some error in the like but if the exact number doesn't matter, then we can use the approx count function. In the like we have this kind of function available in the BigQuery SQL as well, so that is okay. Your client is having sensitive data in the BigQuery table. Okay, the client wants to provide access to the data subset of this table, subset of the table, only few columns means to the data analyst. What would you recommend so that there is a minimal impact with respect to data duplicacy? Okay, there should not be the data duplicacy. So use another table having less number of columns, provide access to. So if we use another table, then there is we are like duplicating the data, so that is wrong. Use a view having a relevant number of columns, that is perfectly okay. Like if we want to provide only the access of the like few columns, then better use the view. Okay, so better use a view. Restrict access to a view, yeah, definitely okay, because it has a sensitive data, so we will restrict the access to the view. Restrict access to the table, no, totally wrong, none of the wrong, so B or C looks okay. Your client is 1 minute, yeah, fine. Your client is keeping clickstream data for so many years in various tables in BigQuery. Okay, a table is created for each date such as clickstream records. Okay, the client has been analyzing this table data for approximately last 3 years. Okay, using regular expression. Okay, regular expression means like we have so many tables, like this table name DDMMYY, so 0101 like 1 minute, 0101 2000, 0102 2000, 0103 2000. Now we have so many tables. Recently the query started to fail as the number of tables are more than 1000. Okay, so there is a restriction that like in the BigQuery na, like if we use a regular expression like click stream records give percentage, so it will like whatever all the table exist with this name, it will like query for all the table. But if the tables are more than 1000, then the query start failing. So what should be recommend? So better if we have more and more tables and it is failing, so better put all the records in the one table. So use single table to store all the data, that is okay. Use partition table to store all data, so that is even more okay than option number A, because if we use the partitioning, then the query time will be like less. Use cluster data, so cluster is not the concern here. Use bucketed, no, wrong. So partition table to store all data, that is okay. Your client would like to have 1000 users of a legacy application to query BigQuery without authenticating each individual to BigQuery. How? So we have 1000 user and they are accessing the BigQuery using some application, and we want to give them access, but we don't want to give them the individual access, and we want to authenticate them as well. So how should we do? So better like create a one service account and give the access to that particular service account, and they will like access the BigQuery using the service account. Can't be possible, wrong. Set a super user account, wrong. Set up a service account, perfectly okay, and grant access to the BigQuery dataset, yeah, perfectly okay, and they will use the credential to access the BigQuery, okay. Choose big table over BigQuery, that is totally wrong. Why will choose big table over BigQuery? Totally wrong, none of the wrong. So option C looks okay. Your client would like to use a customer dataset having more than 100 TB for machine learning model, but the dataset is not clean, okay. So we have 100 TB data and we want to create a machine learning model, but the problem is data set is not clean. They have missed data, having null values and some other problem as well. The developer in the team are most familiar with the Java, okay. What solution would you recommend to clients for preparing the data? So we need to basically what solution we can like recommend to the developers, so that they can like do cleaning of the data. So use BigQuery, no, BigQuery is not for this purpose. Use Dataproc. So Dataproc, yeah, Dataproc, I think Dataproc we can like suggest them because they know the Java. Dataflow, if we have to suggest out of Dataproc and Dataflow, I think we will suggest Dataflow because that is serverless. Use Spark ML. So why we use the machine learning model here? Because the problem is the data is not clean, so we need something which will transform the data, either Dataproc or Dataflow, but out of this Dataflow is recommended. Your client is working on a computer vision project using TensorFlow, but training time is too slow. If the training time is too slow and they want to speed up the training, then better they will use the GPU or the TPU rather than the CPU. Add more nodes to Dataproc, nothing related with the Dataproc. Add more nodes to Dataflow, nothing related to the Dataflow, because they are like training their model. So model Dataproc and Dataflow is not used for training the model. We have the cloud AI platform. So use GPU, perfectly okay. May use TPU as well, perfectly okay. Your client is an e-commerce company and is working on a natural language processing project for classifying reviews, okay. The review can be delivery, product or support, okay. So there are 3 classes. They don't have a team for data scientist, okay, to classify these millions of reviews into about 3 classes, okay. What should be done to implement this as soon as possible, okay. So hire data scientist team, totally wrong. When they already told that we don't have the data scientist team, so that is totally wrong. Use transfer learning. So transfer learning is generally implemented when we have already same kind of model and we can use that particular kind of model, then we use the transfer learning. Transfer learning doesn't look okay because that is totally different, like their classes are delivery, product or support. Use ML API. Again, machine learning API will be used on existing scenario. Use AutoML. So AutoML like generally like preferred in this cases. So because they don't have data scientists, so AutoML will like automatically do like all the kind of like AutoML generally used for the like natural language processing NLP task or the computer vision task. So AutoML is perfectly okay because here we have the natural language task. So AutoML automatically clean the data, automatically train the data. We just need to provide the data. So AutoML okay, and AutoML only work for the NLP and the computer vision. So and here we have the NLP, that is the natural language processing. Your question number 26. Your client is an e-commerce company and has a lot of product videos. Okay, the client want to group video of similar product together in an automated way. So they have so many videos, they want to group the similar videos in one group, and so they want to create some groups, and in one group they want to put same kind of videos. Okay, so what is the possible and the easiest way? Okay, use transfer learning. No. Hire data scientist, totally wrong. Use ML API to generate video labels and use NLP to create to group videos, perfectly okay. Use Spark ML to process data, that is wrong. None of them were wrong. So ML API is perfectly okay because we have already the machine you can say Vision API, I think. Yeah, so it will automatically like go to the videos and it will generate some like video labels, and based on the video labels we can group into the particular, and video labels can be easily read by the NLP task, and we can easily group the videos. Question number 27. Your client is having a CMS, content management system. The client want to store video, audio, okay, into GCP. There is also need to delete archival deletion policy. So if we have the video, audio, images, these are the blob objects, and the only one option is recommended by the Google to store these kind of object, that is the cloud storage, not the BigQuery, not cloud Bigtable, not cloud data store. Only the cloud storage is recommended to store videos, audios, images. Question number 28. Your client is having a messenger product. The client want to store video, audio, images, etc. uploaded by the end user. What should be the best solution? Okay, so they have the messenger product, and the client want to store video, audio. Again we will do the cloud storage. So store videos and messages in the Bigtable. Why will you store video into the Bigtable? Wrong. Store video into the cloud data store. Wrong. Store videos and messages in the cloud storage. Videos is okay, but messages should not be stored in the cloud storage. Okay, let's look at the other option. Video in the cloud storage and messages in the Bigtable, that is perfectly recommended. Video in the cloud storage and message in the data store, no. So generally for the messages thing, because they have the key value pair like ID and the message, so key value, row key value pair. So for that the Bigtable is generally recommended, and for the images, videos, we will recommend cloud storage. So option D, okay. What is the recommended max size of the message in the cloud PubSub? Okay, so in the cloud PubSub, so maximum size of the message is 10 MB. Your client want to design a messaging application for 1 million user. Okay, so user would exchange message on the platform as one-to-one conversation, as a group conversation. One of the requirement of the application is to allow message to send to another user even if the user did not use the application for an year. Okay, so what could be the possible? So generally for the messaging like applications, we want to send the message from one application to another application. We have only two options, that is the cloud PubSub and the Apache Kafka messaging system, right? So we will use only these two, but the problem is here they told that if the receiver will not receive the message even for 1 year, and after 1 year they want to receive the message, even after 1 year the sender they can receive the message from the particular application. But in cloud PubSub we can store the message up to 7 days. So cloud PubSub is rejected here. Apache Kafka looks okay. Your client is a retail store like Walmart. Okay, the client would like to implement Amazon Go store through computer vision. Okay, So they have like we have store like Amazon, Walmart, so they want to like Amazon Go store. Amazon Go store means like uh, in which shelf how many items are there, like what are the price of the item and which shelf is empty. So this kind of we need to implement. Okay, how could we implement? So let's try to eliminate the option use open computer, totally wrong. Use TensorFlow library. So TensorFlow library generally recommended. TensorFlow hub is totally wrong. TensorFlow hub is to visualize the TensorFlow models. So use Cloud Vision APIs. So Cloud Vision APIs, so computer vision API or cloud vision API? Cloud Vision API. Okay. The client would like to implement Amazon, but nothing is mentioned here like they want to like do as quickest as possible. So better is TensorFlow library. You are modeling your data lake for 100 TB. So data lake is you can say the storage system where we can generally store the data in a raw format. You are modeling your data lake for 100 TB historical data on display. You don't have any idea about application access pattern. Okay, but you know that the queries will be used for aggregations. Okay, what is the best way to design the data model? So there are two things here which we need to notice. We don't know how the application will access the data, that is we don't know the pattern, whether it is the key value pair or which column, so we don't know. And the queries and most of the queries use the aggregations. Okay, so use big table and design the table schema as a table. Totally wrong, because big table is a row key value pair, like a key and value pair, and if we know the pattern then we can design the key. But here in the question that we don't know the pattern, so big table is wrong. So use cloud storage for storing data in columnar manner and query using BigQuery, that is perfectly okay. So better to store the data into the cloud storage into the columnar manner. Use cloud storage for storing data in row oriented manner. So row oriented manner is wrong, but better the column oriented manner is correct, because BigQuery is also like work on the column oriented wise. So option C looks okay. How BigQuery is better than Hive? Okay, so allow us to query federated data source perfectly okay, because using BigQuery, if the data is placed in the Google Drive, data is placed in the cloud storage bucket, so don't need to put the data into the BigQuery. We can directly run the query and access the data from the other sources, that is okay, but not in the Hive. It is no ops perfectly okay. That is we don't need any a team to manage the underlying resources. Pay only the amount of data processed, that is perfectly okay. Columnar way of processing data, that is perfectly okay, because BigQuery works on the column wise data. How is Google Cloud PubSub is different from Apache Kafka? Okay, subscriber can pull or push message, yeah, definitely okay. Cloud PubSub is no ops, yeah, perfectly okay. Pay for number of message, egress traffic, etc., perfectly okay. Retention for unacknowledged message can be for any duration, no, wrong. In the PubSub, retention period is only for the 7 days, so option D wrong. In which of the below database technologies secondary indexes are discouraged? That is, secondary indexes are generally not recommended. Cloud SQL, in SQL we generally recommend indexes. Big table, in big table we don't recommend indexes, because in the big table we only have the one key. Secondary indexes generally will be created, let's suppose we have one table and we created a primary index for one key, and there are other columns as well, and we can create the secondary index on the other column as well. But in the big table we have only key and key value pair, only one key. So if we have only one key, why will create the secondary index? So big table is the correct answer here. Your client is into airline domain. Okay, the client wants to implement a big data analytics project on the GCP from scratch. The objective of the project is to show recommendation in their mobile application to customer based on the check-in time, which Okay, so and they want to use which technology should be preferred for the data processing. Okay, so we need to data processing and the serverless manner. Okay, so for the data processing, we know we have the data flow and the data proc, and the serverless is data flow. Data proc is not the serverless, and these are not the these are the processing system, but not the uh, transformation. These are the ingesting, like big table and data store are the storage system, not the processing. So data flow is looks okay. Your client is into airline domain. Okay, the client has already implemented big table, okay, analytic project on premise data center. The client want to migrate. Okay, so they migrate with minimal impact. Okay, so they already implemented on premises using Hive HDFS, and they want to migrate, but with minimal impact on the changes. So for the Hive HDFS, we generally recommend the data proc if we don't want to change the any code, but if you want to change in the code, then data flow recommended, but they have mentioned with minimal impact on existing codes, then data proc is recommended. Your client is into the e-commerce domain. Okay, the client wants to perform A/B testing of various models. Okay, so model is machine learning model with different parameters for product recommendation. Okay, which Google product? So Data Lab, Colab, AI. So we have the AI platform in the GCP for this kind of for running a model, for creating a model, for creating the versions of the model, for saving the models. Version model means I think to save the models with the different parameters, so that we can later on check which model is working better. Your client is into the location intelligence domain. Okay, the client would like to perform both cube analytics as well as the predictive analysis. So analysis is using BigQuery only, and the geospatial data. Okay, so we have the BigQuery for the analysis, and the BigQuery also work on the geospatial data. Geospatial data means the data in which we have the longitude, latitudes are given. Your client is having 1 minute. Okay, your client is having a lot of data, 100 TB in Google Drive. Okay, the client data analyst team wants analyst team would like to analyze it without moving data to GCP. What would you suggest? Okay, if they want to analyze the data and without moving the data into the GCP, then we have only one option left, that is we can run a query directly into the Google Drive from GCP. For that we have the Google BigQuery federated resource. So federated resource means the external resource. So we can use the BigQuery for the analysis purpose and directly execute the query into the Google Drive. So there is no need to move the data. And BigQuery also work with the Google Drive as well. Question number 41. Your client would like to monitor and audit the actions of data analyst. Okay, using BigQuery, what would you recommend for doing? So they want to actually monitor and audit the action of the data. So something related to the logging, logs, Stackdriver. Monitor BigQuery using Stackdriver and define various chart. So monitoring is okay, yeah, fine, because they want to monitor as well. Create chart based on threshold, that you define. Okay, again monitoring, fine. BigQuery automatically create audit logs. Yes, perfectly okay, because there is we need the audit as well, and BigQuery automatically create the logs. Enable audit logs for BigQuery, that is wrong, because there is no need to enable the logs. BigQuery automatically create the logs. So ABC looks okay. Okay.
Big money prize and you're going, it said 5 o'clock or 8 o'clock or whatever your local time is. Why isn't it started yet?
Okay, sorry for pausing the test. So let's resume it. Question number 42. Your client is into the bottle manufacturing domain. Okay, the bottles are of 3 size shapes. The requirement is to classify the bottle, so that is a classification problem. The client has data labelers, computer vision experts, and on premises hardware, but does not have much resources like GPUs. Okay, to build a model to classify these bottles, what are the recommended cost effective approach? Use AutoML. No, AutoML will again like use the not a cost effective, and they have to use the on premises hardware. Okay, build model from scratch, that is totally wrong. Build models from scratch, that is totally wrong. Build model from transfer learning, that is perfectly okay, because transfer learning when we use like when we have like already the classification model, and we can use that model, and we can just change the last few layer based on our like our classes or our requirement model, and train first few layers on premises, that is totally wrong. In the transfer learning we always train the last few layers rather than the first few layers. So option D looks okay. Your client would like to publish data from Kafka on premises infrastructure to the BigQuery for analysis. What would you recommend to your client for achieving this goal into the streaming mode? Okay, so they want to push the data from Kafka to BigQuery and in the streaming mode. So better, and for Kafka is in their own premises, so better they will push the data into the PubSub and then PubSub to the BigQuery. Send data from Kafka to cloud storage, no. Send data from Cloud App Engine, no. Send data from Kafka to Cloud PubSub, perfectly okay. Send data to Kafka to Cloud Data Store, wrong. Your data analyst would like to clean data in the BigQuery table which is showing a lot of duplicate records. Okay, how can you achieve this? Okay, there are duplicate records and we want to clean the data within the BigQuery. Use data flow, totally wrong. Perform deduplication. Deduplication means to remove the duplicate records using window analytics function, that is perfectly okay. Like if you use a row number function, then we can like remove the duplicates. Perform deduplication using Spark on BigQuery, totally wrong. We use the SQL in the BigQuery. Perform deduplication using deduplication function. So nothing like this a deduplication function. We can use the window analytics function. Your client having existing infra on Google is a global retailer. The client wants to enable 24/7 customer support and sale. The client customer should be able to place order without manual intervention through a scalable AI chatbot. In it is Facebook Messenger linked with the official Facebook page. Also the chatbot must have integration with the Google Assistant. What solution? So generally like we have the Dialogflow service available which is provided by the GCP, and that is basically used for this kind of interaction only, like automatic interaction with the client to place the order for any chatting purpose, and that Dialogflow can be easily integrated with the Google Messenger and as well as the Google Assistant. So out of these, like Dialogflow looks okay, rather than train their own chatbot, launch their own chatbot, launch own chat, no. But we can like launch the Dialogflow. Dialogflow is like already we have the one of the service available. Your client needs to migrate on premises RDBMS database to having 100 GB data to GCP. Okay, so it is only 100 GB. Okay, and that is the RDBMS. Our Bigtable is the NoSQL, that is wrong. BigQuery totally wrong, that is only required for the petabytes of data. Cloud SQL perfectly okay, and the Cloud SQL can store 10 terabytes of data, but it is 100 GB only, so perfectly okay. Cloud Spanner, no need to, we can move into the Cloud Spanner as well, but Cloud Spanner is not required. Cloud Spanner is generally required for the massive scale of data, but here is 100 GB only, so 100 GB, for the 100 GB Cloud SQL is okay. Your client needs to join Bigtable with small data on a Data Pro cluster. Okay, what would you recommend to your client? Okay, they want to join the big data to the with the small data in the Data Pro cluster. So how should they do? Use distributed cache? No. use Spark broadcasting, yeah, correct, because the Data Pro cluster work on the Spark, so use some kind of Spark broadcasting. Okay, use Data Flow, totally wrong, because we have the Data Pro cluster. Use Cloud Data Store, totally wrong. Data store is for the storage, not for the, like, we need to join the data into the on the Data Pro cluster. So on the Data Pro cluster, so only one option left, that is the Spark broadcasting. And in this question we need to join the data, but on the Data Flow cluster. So what will be the Data Flow is like generally run on the like Apache Beam. So Spark will not use, Spark will use in case of Data Pro, not in the Data Flow. So cache is wrong, data store is wrong, so Apache Beam is correct. What is the role of trigger in streaming processing? Okay, so trigger is mainly used, like let's suppose a data is coming, right, and a few data came, but a few data due to network issue came late. So trigger will decide, and like we have to perform some aggregation functions, right? Let's suppose we want to, yeah, correct, so we want to perform some aggregation function, and only few data we received till now, and few data is is late because of network issue. So only when we received whole data, only then we can perform the aggregation, right? So trigger will barely used when we receive everything, and then we will only perform the you can say aggregation or any other function, rather than let's suppose we are expecting the data within 5 minutes, but due to network issue 80% of the data came within 5 minutes, but rest 20% of the data not reached within 5 minutes, and it reached after 5 minutes. And we have designed the pipeline in such a way that within the 5 minutes the data will be came, and just after 5 minutes the accumulation will be performed. So in this case, if the data is coming in late, then the accumulation will be performed only on the 80% of the data which received within the time. But that is totally wrong, because we want to perform accumulation or aggregation or any kind of function on 100% of the data. So we can use the concept of the trigger. So trigger, what it will do, it will check whether all the data is arrived or not. As soon as all the data is arrived, then only it will perform the aggregation. So handle late arriving events, no. So handles when no trigger computation, handles when to trigger, yeah, correct, handle when to trigger computation on accumulated data. So that is when to trigger. So trigger basically used only for this purpose, not for the storage of accumulation data, no, but when to perform computation. Your client having GCP infrastructure in place, okay, would like to perform sentiment media analysis on Twitter tweets, okay. Your end result should be dashboard visible in Data Studio, okay. What would be the recommendation approach in the pipeline? Okay, so basically we need to get the tweets from the Twitter. We need to